source for everything paranormal. Parax. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Parax, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The Calling.
And good evening, everyone. It's another Wednesday and another time for the Calling. And with me tonight, as always, Kimberly Warrose. Hi, Kim.
Hey, Jerry. How are you?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Freezing cold, like always, but this time of year, I should say.
Don't you have a heater or anything?
Yeah,
like that?
I have a heater, but, sometimes the heater's just... And when you get the chill in your bone, you can't get it out,
Oh, that's
and it is
true.
that cold. It's that cold.
You get to that certain age, I suppose.
I guess, yeah.
Just kidding. look, everybody's face just kind of dropped like, oh, no, he didn't. Type of thing. Anyway, so tonight is going to be an interesting show. We're calling it the Paranormal Roundtable, and we've asked another show to come on, and of course that is The Gathering with Heidi and Stephanie. Hi, ladies. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, you guys? Good to be here.
Oh.
We are awesome. It's fun. We haven't been on your show for a while, the two of us.
I know it's been quite a long time, and I'm glad to have you here. Now, everybody, let's sing the Gathering radio song. I'm kidding. So no, this is great. And the best thing that I really like about this is that we have one of the listeners that always graces our chat room. Is late most of the time and stuff, but she's there. The one, the only, the Moofy. Moofy, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing Moofalicious.
Moofalicious.
I
There's
love
a
it.
little Fergie dancing to it, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome to have Moofy on. It's awesome to meet Moofy because she's always on our shows. Always.
She is. It's awesome. This is great to have you on. Thank you. So what is a roundtable? Roundtable is just a round table, and we all sit at it. There's no one the head of it. There's no one at the very last of it, and we all just have fun talking about the paranormal. So if you don't mind, I'd like to start it out and just say, Moofy, how long have you been a listener of Parax?
I think since spring of 2009.
Wow.
Around in there.
Has it changed a lot since there?
Oh, yeah.
It has.
Yeah, it really has, yeah.
So you kind of like, when my show came on, you were like, thank God, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Get rid of the rest of this trash.
Oh!
And then when the Gathering came to be, it was like, oh my God, this is the best one of all.
It was double good. Double good.
There you go.
Oh, that's hilarious. So, Heidi, so you guys have been on now for how many years? 7 years?
7. Yep.
7
We
years.
just had our 7-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's right.
Last month.
What do you think? Have you got to hear your first show that you guys did, and compared now and stuff. I mean, there's no tapping on the keyboards, which is nice, and there's no talking very slow type stuff. So, we're just kind of curiosity. What is your favorite topic, other than talking about me? Go ahead.
Clearly, you are our favorite topic, Jerry. But I would say, let's see here, a close second. What would a close second be? We have so much fun on all of our shows. It's hard to pick a favorite. I don't know. It's new topics. When we talk about something like that catches us off guard. I think when we talked about dreams, and that show just went nuts, right?
Yes.
And we didn't think it would be. It was just
followed by stick structures. Okay, maybe we do talk about those two things a lot.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it makes for a good show, Oh,
Yeah.
Sarge did go red there. Oh, well. One thing I think is kind of funny is when, so this is, can you all hear us now? Someone get the rope and life preserver ready.
Yeah.
We're going down.
Yeah.
We'll use the round table as a raft. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Well, we're kind of all gathered around the table, aren't we?
Well, I'm in front of a table.
Yeah.
I think Moofy's in front of a... Oh, here he is now. Cool. Okay, we're hearable. Excellent.
So, Stephanie, what was your favorite topic?
I think I have to agree with Heidi. We just talk about so many different topics that I can't even pick one, to be honest. But I do like the paranormal smorgasbord because we never know what's going to come up in that,
Right.
And I do like our one-offs when we talk about everything but paranormal, like when we have, we've had Lori from the DNR on, and we've had talking about eagles, and we've had, we've had Howard Garrett from the Orca Network on talking about orcas. We had had the gal up at the wildlife. What's her name, Heidi? I can't think of what her name is now.
Yeah, Peggy.
Peggy.
At the Wildlife Refuge. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of really cool shows, actually, that have nothing to do with the paranormal, which is cool, too.
Right.
But they still, are about Earth energy and how everything's connected. So
it's true.
I don't know. I think it relates.
Yeah,
it does. It does.
Kimmy, I thought about trying that and stuff. And then I thought we kind of suck if we didn't talk about the paranormal. I feel like we're cheating on the paranormal in a way. It's like, all of a sudden this bad energy is going to hit us because it's like, yo, you're not talking about me? What up? Type of thing. And then something's just going to come out of the walls. But every time we do talk about certain subjects like Humbird, the things from there, all of a sudden everything goes down and there's no reason for it to go down.
Right. I believe that too. I do believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Moof, what is your absolute number one type thing that you like people discussing, or one thing that really hits your interest about the paranormal, supernatural, metaphysical? Which one hits you really good?
Oh, my goodness. I've listened to so many over the years, it's hard to choose one. I personally am really interested in the nature of evil. What is the nature of evil? That just absolutely fascinates me,
Nature of evil.
The nature of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is the purpose, you mean, Moofy? Like,
where does it come from? How do people become that way? Nature, nurture. I like deep discussions like that. Also like to hear about Dogman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've had a few discussions about that.
Yeah, that's a good topic, actually, the Dogman. They see him in a lot of places now, so yeah.
I like basic intellectual conversations where there is no one person that knows everything, is the expert on everything, and it's that way,
Right.
Because I don't think any of us are completely sure of anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And, I like the old scientific method. That's always good.
So you're a little bit of a skeptic?
Everybody knows I'm the chat skeptic. And, I'm not saying that things don't exist. I'm saying that if they do, they need proof.
Right.
See, that's what gets me in trouble. There's a lot of teams that don't really care for my opinion because I am, prove it type of person, If you're going to say it, I mean, if someone's going to be a paranormal investigator or a researcher and stuff, especially if you say researcher, because a researcher based on fact.
Well, that's what research is supposed to be.
Exactly. Right. I mean, you can talk about fantasy, but there's fantasy. I mean, if there's someone says they have they put up their arms and Bigfoot comes running to them, they better be able to prove that.
Prove it.
Yeah, prove it. Prove it. But then there's a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't matter. It's just entertainment. What? Do you think I do this stuff because I'm entertained? No.
Well, that's a problem. That's a problem because I think a lot of people look at it that way. And it's supposed to be the search for reality and truth.
I like her. I really like you. The Moofy, you awesome.
Well, thank you.
I guess, if I may, Steph and Heidi, are you guys going to be showing any kind of paranormal evidence ever on your show? Like, EVPs, anything like that? I'm just curious.
We have before. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not, I guess it depends on what we're talking about because we're not always talking just strictly paranormal, investigations, things like that. So,
right.
If it comes around and we have it, we've done it.
Yeah, we did Humbert stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Most recently, but we've done before that too.
Oh, yes. I mean, investigations that you and I have been on together and, we've played stuff,
Okay. That's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see now. List of questions. Here it is. This is for Heidi. Does pepperoni or does pineapple belong on a pizza? These are not from me. These are actually people are sending these in.
No.
I think that was a joke one, but I'm just throwing it out to Heidi.
All right, I'll answer it.
Okay.
It depends.
What does it depend on?
Depends on what kind of pizza it is. Because sometimes pineapple would enhance it and sometimes it wouldn't.
That's right.
But I am all for pineapple on a pizza if it goes with everything else.
Okay.
Yep. I agree.
Okay. So I hope the listener took that one out, and I will not be asking any more questions like that. Let's ask for the real stuff here, guys.
Off the wall one.
Yeah, that was a little bit gone. This is for Moofy. So Moofy, when it comes to UFOs, how much do you believe in UFOs?
I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay.
Good answer.
Okay, you've never seen one or thought you've seen one? No?
Nope.
Nothing like that?
Nope.
Okay. And that goes back to Steph, too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You do believe in them?
No, I'll believe it when I see one.
Really? You've never seen something like, because, I mean, you were in the 60s and stuff, and you've never seen anything. Now, that was not a slam.
No, I know.
Heidi, did a microphone smack with her head, with her forehead. But no, I mean, you've never seen nothing when you were younger that you were like,
No, never.
Really? Okay. All right. Well, let's dig on this a little bit further. What about you, Heidi?
I do believe, because I can't see that I can't see that there wouldn't be someone out there that doesn't have that capability. I've seen too many things that show me that kind of travel is possible. I believe I've seen something that I would consider a UFO, not up close, but enough that makes me want to keep looking to try and prove it. Because I could say all day long I think they're real, but unless I could prove it, it would be hard for me to take that to someone else and have them believe what I say. So I believe it, but I'd love to have concrete proof.
Okay. Okay.
Here's what I believe. I believe people believe that they've seen something, whether it's a true UFO or something from outer space is yet to be determined.
Right. Huh. How about you, Kimmy?
Well, I always thought that people, other than us, some type of whatever is out there. So I do believe that there's existing alien type of things. And yes, I do believe that there's some intelligence. Yes, I've seen things, and I've experienced some things. So yes, I truly believe in them. So yeah.
Okay. I do too. I don't know if I believe too much in like the grays or the greens or the purples or oranges and stuff because I haven't seen them yet. Mm-hmm. But, my belief in people saying, well, an alien was on that UFO. Really? I mean, you can't see in there. I do believe in UFOs, but could they be drones from different galaxies or whatever? There's a possibility of that. But I do believe in UFOs. I have seen too many since I was a kid. That has been quite amazing. So it's something.
Well, I think we'd be arrogant to believe that we're the only existing life in the universe.
Agreed. There's got to be more than this. I mean, right. We've all already experienced, the other side. We've seen ghosts. We've felt ghosts. We've talked to the other side. Mm-hmm. So for that to be, saying that, well, no, not outside this earth. There's nothing there. I mean, that's kind of foolish,
right. And there's also, Jerry, there's other planets and stuff like that. So we don't know what comes off these planets. We don't know anything. And for all we know, higher intelligence than what we are. And obviously there has to be some type of a higher intelligence because of look at everything that comes out. Now we have microchips or those little, tiny things that hold so much information now. And there's just so much stuff out there, so much stuff. And so many people experiencing flying saucers and alien forms, like you say about the Greys. I didn't even believe that there was such a thing called Greys until my daughter had said that she saw Greys in her window. She was only 5 to 6 years old. She doesn't know what Greys are. She's only a 5 or 6 year old. She never watched aliens and stuff like that. But she tells me she sees Greys. She saw Greys.
Gotcha. Did you watch stuff like that when she was little?
No. Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay.
That's why it shocked me, because why would she say that?
Right.
She never watched stuff like that.
Interesting.
She's too young. Yeah, she's super young.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, I thought somebody sneezed there on the microphone. Okay. So, Heidi, what is, like, when you talk about when it comes to Reiki and stuff like that, where does it pull from on you? This is another question. There's a bunch of questions that are coming through, and I don't know why nobody's asking the questions on the in the chat room.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
That's weird. So these must be people that are listening on online, but not in our chat room, or listening through tune in because it's actually coming straight to my what do you call it? Messenger, for God's sakes. There you go. So thoughts, Heidi?
Okay, so where is it pulling from? Where does it pull from? Does it pull from within a person, or does it pull from the universe through that person? Yeah, so as a person that channels Reiki energy, you are exactly that. You're a channeler. One of the things that I've always said, and I just taught a Reiki class on Saturday, and this is what I told them. I said, I would never say that I'm a healer. I don't call myself that. I know people do, and I'm not going against them at all. I don't call myself a healer because that implies or is saying that I'm doing the healing and that I'm using my energy to do it. and I don't do that. And I know that no Reiki person actually does that, because that's not how it works. We are channeling divine source energy. So there is an energy that is greater than us, a divine, unconditionally loving consciousness energy that we are channeling to a receiver. So whoever that receiver is, if we're channeling for ourselves, if we're doing self-Reiki or channeling to someone else, we are channeling unconditionally loving universal life force energy. And that's what you want as a recipient. You don't want my energy. I have a limited amount of energy, right? My energy is not infinite. I can get wiped out and tapped just like anybody else. Mm-hmm. And what I would channel is what I would want for you. It's not necessarily for your highest good. And those are two totally different things. So the universe channels unconditionally loving life force energy for your highest good. And we don't always get to decide what that means. And that's what we should be doing, because anything else is ego energy. It's I want for you, or I want for myself, which isn't what is necessarily for my highest good. Even if it's something that we feel is really good, good for us or for a good outcome, that doesn't mean it's for our highest good. So we should be channeling unconditionally loving life force energy. That is the only energy that would make sense. And if I was channeling my energy to someone else, I would be wiped out by the end of the session, because I have shifted my energy into them, which is not what any channeler should be doing, any practitioner should be doing.
Mm-hmm. Right. Big time, that is, yeah. That's
I like that, Heidi. I like that a lot, because you have to the thoughts of that, you can literally get wiped out, and you can, especially if you're doing like psychic work or medium work or whatnot. So that is true. I think that's a really good way of looking at things. And because I feel like I can be like a natural healer, but I've never thought of it as, and it's true, because if you stop to think, you're asking whatever your higher or whatever the spirit or whatever is out there, you ask for help. So when you're going to heal, at least I think that's what I do. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, because I'm not a professional for sure, or anything, but I never looked at it the way you put it. Never looked at it that way, because you can literally get wiped out when you're doing some type of psychic work or whatnot. So yeah, I really like that a lot. Just that, so yeah.
All right. Exactly. Okay, cool. So Heidi, here's another question. Have you had any people that actually are like energy vampires, and they've pulled from you, and it's like, what do you do to get your energy back?
Well, I guess if you're caught up with an energy vampire and you're not, if they're already taking your energy, it would be hard to take it back. You'd have to stop it, stop them from taking more energy. But that's kind of like buying insurance after the accident. It's already done. You can't really fix that. So to keep yourself safe ahead of time is really the way to go. And going into a situation that you're not familiar with, or, connecting with people you've never met before, going anywhere. If you're going into a situation you're just not familiar with, or with people you don't know, it's best to have higher levels of protection first. And then you can assess, how everybody feels. Should I let my guard down? Can I, drop some protections, whatever. But if someone is already taking your energy because your protections weren't up, that's kind of it's a done deal. To get it back, I don't know that I'd want it back. They took it from me. I'm going to stop it, and then I'm going to go recharge. So to get it back isn't really a thing. I don't know that I'd want it back, but to stop it from happening before it happens, that's what I would do. But if it's already happening, you have to stop it and like cut and run.
Right. Can you try to take it back from a person? You wouldn't want it back, would you?
No, I wouldn't want it back. And to take it back, you're starting to get into some weird tug of war with someone who, and it might be someone that's not doing it intentionally. You have to think about, is this intentional or is it unintentional? If it's unintentional, there's people, my old job, I used to work with a couple of people that were unintentional energy vampires and had no idea. And so it wasn't like they were being malicious, and so to steal it back or take it back, I'm like, hey, you need this, go for it, but I'm going to be a little wiser and smarter tomorrow and just not let it happen, because that's not going to work for me. So,
that's a topic I'd like to explore further in the future. I know that I think I've experienced maybe 4 people in my life who I just absolutely couldn't be in the same room with.
Right.
Just couldn't. Physically hurt to be in the same room. So.
Well, and then there's the psychic attack as well.
Yeah.
So that could be that instead of an energy. I mean, it could be an energy vampire, or it could be a psychic attack too. It just depends on the intention and what's happening. So.
Yeah,
Very
those
good.
are bad.
Yeah. And if only Bodine was here, right? He would swear first and then go into this long tangent. Okay, here's another question, actually, for Moofy and for Steph. For Moofy, it is a two-parter. So for Moofy, when it comes to Bigfoot, your thoughts on it being possible. And for Steph, have you found anything, being with Squatchers, that is solid proof? Or is it just things that you hear that could possibly be? So let's go with Moofy first.
I want to see DNA. I want to see blood typing. I want to see fur analysis. I want to see a body or a skeleton. That would help. I don't want them to make a skeleton, but I mean, I have a hard time with Bigfoot, because I think, when you're out in the forest, you come across deer skeletons and all kinds of skeletons, but not Bigfoot skeletons. So I'm kind of a skeptic on Bigfoot, but I mean, I'd believe it if they had the proof.
Well, Bigfoot, in my way of saying it, there's some animals like orcas. When a baby dies or something like that, I mean, they may know, because sometimes the mother goes a little nuts and carries around the body for weeks.
That's sad.
And because they don't want it to be true.
Yeah.
But what they do is when a orca dies, they go down deep and they stuff its body into caverns or caves, and then you don't see the body again. So it's very, very rare that you see a body.
But that's in the ocean.
Well, that's in the ocean, but I mean...
But how often do we run across bear bones? Never. We never find bear skeletons. We never really find...
But I have seen a bear. I have seen many bears.
Right, but bears aren't intelligent like Bigfoot,
But I've never seen a Bigfoot and a bear.
Neither have I. Jerry has.
I have. And they are, I know that goes, it sounds wacky as everything, but it is, I just couldn't believe it that day. I really thought it was a moose trying to get up off the ground. And I sat there watching it, and I didn't even think about taking my camera out at that time. And then all of a sudden it stands up, and I'm like, what the heck? And I'm staring at it, and it's like, oh, that's a bear. But, a bear has short legs, bulbous butt, and a long body. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that. And then fully standing with the sun in their face as it's looking across the river, it puts its hand up to block it off. It's like, wait a minute, that's intelligence. So now I'm trying to get my camera open as it's making its way into the woods, and I'm watching everything. The first thing that popped into my head was the Patterson films. Yeah. And I'm looking at its butt. I'm watching its legs. I'm watching the way it moves. I'm watching its back, its shoulders, its head, its stride, the way the arms move and everything. And it's like, this is it. This is something that it's Bigfoot, Okay, hold on. We got break. Darn it. Okay, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
If you're looking for a truly unique podcast experience, we have you covered.
Spirit by You with CJ Dunham airs live from the Third Coast in Southeast Texas on Tuesday and Fridays at midnight Eastern Time, covering Creole folklore and folk magic to strange paranormal activity to new equipment for the field. CJ Dunham is a Catholic swamp witch, a devotee to our Mother Mary in the Trinity, a true believer in our Lord, the Holy Ghost, and Christ. Peace be with your spirit, and the spirits by you.
Hey, Heidi, have you listened to The Calling lately?
Why, yes, Steph, I have. It's really good. Have you?
Absolutely. It's what I would say is a wild and woolly affair.
So does that mean it's a wild and woolly Wednesday show?
Well, I definitely think that's true.
So you know we listen, since The Calling is the sibling show to our show, The Gathering.
Listen to The Calling Radio Show with Jerry and Kimberly Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Right here on the Parax Radio Network.
Dead Zone. I want to give a huge shout out to Shauna and congratulations on her new podcast, Exploring the Paranormal Perspective. You'll hear some amazing guests like me, paranormal and true crime stories, and more. Catch her Wednesdays at 8 Central on the Parax Radio Network.
Your source for everything paranormal, Parax.
And we're back. This is Jerry with The Calling, along with Kimberly Juarez, Moofy, Stephanie, and Heidi from The Gathering. Now, if you didn't get a chance to check this show out in the beginning and you just showed up, well, you're late. You owe me cookies. Anyway, you can actually go to www.thecallingradioshow.com or YouTube, The Calling Radio Show. And remember, Parax is jam-packed with some fun stuff. No matter if you want to hear it or not, you can hear it here. So check it out. You got The Gathering that's on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Steph and Heidi, they sit around drinking wine, eating really nice chocolate, and they have a great time. The loopier they get, the better they are. And if you ever get on and you look into the chat room and you see Moofy, say hello. She's famous. I can't even tell you her real name because she was like, oh my God, a celebrity and a half. But check them all out. They're pretty awesome. And there's more than that. There's Geeks Paranormal right after our show. All right, so let's go on. So now the question was talking about Bigfoot and everything. Moofy was saying that she is kind of skeptical about it. Steph, any tangible proof that actually shows he's there, or right now it's just like a building phase to be able to get to that spot?
That's exactly right. I mean, we've had some pretty cool experiences. We've heard things, seen things. Not him, not a Bigfoot, but we've had some awfully interesting experiences. Heidi, you too. I know, Kim, I mean, when we first started this, we had like our very first time ever, we had crazy things happen. And, you know, we keep finding all of these things that honestly, why would people be doing this? You know, why would people be making these arches with the trees? And there's energy portals there, and there's just all kinds of stuff. Something's there. Something is there. And, you know, we found tracks. We have absolutely found Bigfoot tracks. So I guess that's the proof. That's the absolute proof, because they had toes, they had the whole 9 yards, and they were 22 inches long, and there was 3 to 4 feet between the prints, right, Kim?
The stride. Yep.
Yeah. So
but you haven't seen one yet to be able to prove the existence. Gotcha.
And then that's
coming.
And you got to stop to think. Okay, so it's more of a dominant male, kind of thing, that there's more male than there are females. I really think that some of these males aren't just going to go out there just to go out there. I think there's got to be some type of belief, you know, even though there are skeptics that are out there looking and stuff like that. I mean, there's got to be something, because there's plenty of pictures, and some of the pictures aren't always, you know, to par and everything about the Bigfoot, but there are some that are like, wow, you know, there must be something, you know. Like I said, you know, it's kind of hard, you know, we don't know if these are just made up, we don't know, but it's still out there, you know, and it's all over the country. It's not just, it's all over the country. Like, you got not just like your skunk man down in Florida, and you got your Yeti up in the Russian type. You got it everywhere. In Hawaii, you get one. You know, it's just everywhere. And I don't know if these are the type of creatures that, you know, different types of creatures or anything, but I don't know. It's out there.
Well, you know, the whole Ojibwa Nation, one of their 7 teachings is Bigfoot. And he represents honesty. And I have talked to so many Native American elders, and they all tell me the same thing in different ways, but it's the same story, and that Bigfoot is here. He takes care of us. He says, you know, eat what I eat, take care of the woods. I'm always around, but leave me be. Don't look for me. You know, and so that's why you very rarely find Native Americans searching for Bigfoot. Right. But what's interesting is when, you know, they have taken us in, you know, and embraced us and helped us along our journey as well. Right. So, because, you know, they can. So they want us to succeed, I think, even maybe more than we do, because we always find ourselves on those reservations, and we're always talking to these natives and seeing what they know. So, but we've just found way too many odd things in the woods, heard way too many things. I really truly believe he's interdimensional, and I think most of the indigenous peoples believe that as well. I have heard a couple of them tell me that they think they're just a lost tribe. Kim, I'm thinking about Bill up north.
Yep.
Yep. But yeah, no, I like spirits, you know, they're like pretty spirits. Hard. It's pretty hard to prove.
So I have a question here. Actually, it's somebody that knows you, but they do not want me to say their name. For Stephanie and for Kim, is it true that as you were years ago when you were hunting Bigfoot, that something was standing in the road, and you guys got really scared about it until you got close enough? What was it that was standing in the middle of the road?
We did. Absolutely. Yes, we were so green. It was like one of the very first times we were ever out there, Kim. And we were out there, and it was like 3 a.m, and we were out in the middle of the Chippewa forest. There was nobody else there.
Was this the time? So this has got to be the time after we had that experience with the rock throwing over the trees.
So we had already
had an experience, and then it just elevated us even more so at that time.
I was scared. I'm ashamed to say I was scared.
Okay, hold on. What was the creature that was in the middle of the road?
Okay, first of all, you have to understand that we were pretty delirious by this time, right?
Yeah. Delirious.
I mean, you know, shadows looked huge. Everything there was no moon.
It's pitch dark. Yeah.
It was very remote. There was nobody for miles around.
And what was it?
A cow?
No, a cow.
It was a fox.
Standing up. It was sitting upward. And everybody said it was on a cliff. Kind of on a cliff thing where its den was right in that cliff area.
Oh my God.
And it was like,
oh my God. And the comments, every once in a while we had it on video, right?
We do have it on video.
Because we had just had this experience. We're driving and we see this, and I'm like, oh my God, it's standing up. And everybody goes,
what is it? You can only hear Stephanie saying, what is it?
And then, it's a fox.
Oh. That was it. Yeah.
Okay, so it was a fox. Okay.
So that was like
All right.
our very first time in the woods ever. Can I just say?
Well, I wouldn't be embarrassed, I mean, some large animal standing up,
Well,
which is a fox.
Well, I think the
So you
fox
guys-
actually. I
you
think
guys
the fox
on
is
any-
saying, "What was it? What is that? What are those lights?"
Scared to death because we shined our light on it. Remember? We got out of the car and looked, and this poor fox is just standing there, like, "What is going on?"
Right,
So
exactly.
were you guys on any kind of enhancement type drug at that time?
Must have been something in the air.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, adrenaline, baby.
That's
we were
funny.
scared from the other stuff. Yeah.
That's funny. So, Heidi, how many times have you, and not saying, we're out in the woods and stuff like that, but, you're also a paranormal investigator too and stuff like, and a very good one. I've been out with you when we've done cases. How many times that people have thought it was something and then you checked it out and it really wasn't nothing and they felt kind of dumb?
You mean in general, like we went to a house?
Correct. Right.
Yeah. I don't know the actual numbers, but I would say it's probably 15% of the time.
Gotcha.
15% of the time we go out. I don't want to say 10% because it feels like it should be a little more than that, but definitely not like 20 or 25. It's probably about 15% of the time you go and it's something else. It's something electrical. It's something that they need to work through, maybe some past traumas that they're, needing to process. There's all sorts of reasons that it could be something else. And sometimes it is. And there's no way ever that I would want anybody to feel dumb while I'm there or after. I don't want anyone, because the stuff that they're calling us about is legit, whether it's paranormal from that kind of a source or from something else. I never want someone to feel stupid for calling us, because it isn't stupid. It's real stuff that's happening. It's just we have to find the source. And
Right.
and sometimes, I'm not saying that 85% of the time that we go there, it's, paranormal. There's all sorts of crazy activity. But sometimes we just can't put our finger on it. But when we can, and it's not paranormal, is what I'm talking about. Like, we know what this is, and it is definitely not paranormal. But sometimes you go and you're like, I don't know what this is. So maybe we just do a clearing to help them out, and and then it takes care of whatever's there. But there's a handful of times where whatever's happening is not paranormal, and we can prove what it is. And that's what I'm talking about. And I don't want anyone to feel stupid, because sometimes it's like you just don't know.
Right.
And so I'm glad
Right.
that people call and ask for help, whatever the reason is, whatever's going on.
Right. We had a case one time where the lady was like, there is something here. I can feel it. The door keeps opening and opening and stuff like that. And George is so funny because he's a very skeptical man. And George says, you have a screwdriver? So he took their lock apart, and it was a spring that was missing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would stay shut. And if there was any vibration, such as opening a window, the wind and stuff, it would open up the door and stuff like that. So George was always the big skeptic until we did a place up in International Falls. This place was extremely haunted. And George was downstairs by himself. And usually we don't allow people to go by themselves. And he was holding a camera and infrared and all that stuff. And all of a sudden you hear him scream out, May, get down here. Oh my God, it's coming at me. And what it was is a stainless steel refrigerator. It was his reflection as he's walking towards it.
Oh.
And he thought, I felt so bad for him. But the place was very incredible, because one of the EVPs we have, used to be a mentally handicapped adult that was there many years ago and stuff, and she had passed. And one of her favorite things to say was stupid.
Yeah.
So we caught this voice of a girl, and you can tell sorry, I'm not saying that. You can just tell that there was a lisp there and stuff. And she was following me around saying, "You're so stupid." Just stupid. And I'm like, I couldn't believe we heard that afterwards and stuff. And it was like, wow, this was... I felt bad for May because May is talking to the lady, the owner of the place, and this thing was just not letting up on her. Have you had anything like that happen around you? Any kind of paranormal?
Well, and I've been to some really should-be haunty places, I've been all over Europe and all these castles and all these old World War II sites and big old buildings in England, and you'd think I would have seen something. But like I told you earlier, the only thing I ever saw and questioned was closet doors opening and closing on their own in Villisca. And that, who knows, they may have it rigged somehow, But I don't know if there's just some people that don't see things. Maybe I'm just one of those that don't see things.
Well, Steve was on my team. Yeah, I call him a cooler. And, cooler, if you talk about like Las Vegas and stuff, if somebody's doing really good at craps table or something like that, they have somebody, which is a person that, it's got bad luck, and that they make that person go and sit next to that person and talk to them, and it kind of zaps their and I know it's like, and Steph was getting bombarded by something. She was getting sick, and she ended up having to leave where we were at and everything because something was coming after her. I had a K2 meter that was going wild, and you could hear things and everything. And I said, "Steve, come on over here." And it just stopped. And he got so mad about it. He was like, "They just don't like me."
Well, I'd like to take that back. I had a spooky experience in Germany, and it was, I'm going to date myself, it was the early 70s, and I was in junior high, and we went to that place where Hitler gave his speeches. Mm-hmm. And I was standing exactly where Hitler would have stood at the little podium thing. And you looked out at the arena where you're used to seeing all these soldiers, there was weeds growing through the stands. And it was just like the most eerie, weird, quiet. And my daughter experienced the same thing when she went to Bergen-Belsen camp. How everything was normal on the bus with the kids. But once they stopped off the bus, an eerie, heavy silence. And I know it would be terribly disrespectful to want to investigate a concentration camp, of course, but there's some vibes. There's some heavy vibes.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, myself, I don't know. I mean, it'd be just like burial mounds, a native burial mound I would never go near, even though, Auschwitz and stuff, I mean, they're not, it's a different type of a mound to me, but it's, it would be interesting. Heidi?
Yeah.
What do you think? Would you do it if you ever got a chance to go over to Germany and like Auschwitz or something? Would you investigate it?
I would not investigate it. I don't know I don't think that would be right. I would go and pay my respects.
Yeah.
And be there in respect for, the people that lost their lives, and I would pray, and I would channel healing energy. I would do that. I don't think that kind of a place warrants an investigation. You would expect that there would be energy there. And I'm sure that there's a lot of energy there. I don't think I'd need to run an investigation to feel the energy there.
Yeah, I don't think you would need to investigate.
So I would go there. Yeah, I would go there to pay respects and pray and channel healing energy to the people that lost their lives there.
Okay, this is really bad of me. Tell me how bad I am. I mean, I would do the same thing, but I'd have a voice recorder in my pocket. Is that wrong? That's wrong, isn't it?
I don't think it's wrong if you're not overtly disrupting.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be like, anybody want to say anything to me?
I would just think that, how you're saying not to be disrespectful, but what if somebody wanted to say something to a loved one?
Right.
Could we understand that? I mean, could we be able to say something that maybe that would not be such a bad idea while you're doing your healing or whatnot, and be able to say, if there's anybody that needs to say anything, please, say it loud so that way this recorder can hear you. If you, and especially, say something about the loved one that would like to know about this or something. I don't know. That you're right. It's a hit and miss with that, because you want to be respectful and you want to be, you just got to be respectful, especially in these types of places and stuff like that. I mean, it was such a horrifying experience for these people, but I'm sure they weren't able to talk to their loved ones and were locked up in these places. And I think that's pretty sad too. They weren't able to say their goodbyes,
No.
So.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I agree with you on that. It's a tough thing. It is a tough thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But just the heaviness, I've never experienced anything like it before. But just the complete heaviness of the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There's some places that if you go to, I mean, you know that something happened there, and just walking through it, but then when you get home, the first thing you want to do is smudge. Because there was
definitely
something heavy there that you walk through, or some people are sponges when it comes to be that stuff. So yeah,
you've had that probably when you've gone into different houses. I worked for social services for a time, and I used to go into houses, and sometimes you could just feel something's not right in here, just a real heavy energy.
Oh yeah, just from the different cases, especially being a social worker or some type, and then you're going into these places that children may have been abused, or or so energy's left there, or beaten, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So I can imagine. I can totally imagine, especially being like a social worker or someone like that.
Right. Huh. Steph, Heidi, what you got?
I don't know. It's been an interesting roundtable, Heidi.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it's been interesting to hear all the what everybody thinks.
Yeah,
right.
Not very articulate tonight. Sorry.
I mean, it's cool that you're getting questions, though. That's cool that you're getting questions for us.
So where are they sending you questions? On Facebook?
On through the calling messenger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the calling radio show messenger. One person's asking, what does your significant others think about what you do? So let's start with Heidi.
My significant other is with me when I do these. We do this together. He is a paranormal investigator and medium and intuitive as well. He's actually a better medium than I am. When it comes to doing medium work, he's better at it than I am. So that I'm grateful for. But he is 110% supportive of what I do, and with me for a lot of it when it comes to the paranormal.
Gotcha. Who's got the stronger intuitive, do you feel? Do you feel it's women or do you feel it's men? I'm curious about that.
I don't think you could say it that way. It's just each person, it's their, strength, and it doesn't get divided up, I think, by women and men.
Mm-hmm.
Either one could be, intuitive. Any person can be intuitive, and it's not just women and men, it's anybody. So it doesn't have to do on one side or another.
Well, that's like when you're talking about you, Heidi, and your partner. I'm sure one can do way better in seeing this, and then the other person can see this. You know what I mean? And then it comes where it helps. It benefits you both in that sense.
Everybody has their talents. It doesn't matter if you're what gender you are or anything. It's just whatever you're good at. And thankful that Tim has different talents. He's better at some things than I am, and I'm better at some things than he is. And so, when we come together, we make a really good team. Right. But I love that he's better than me at certain things, and I'm happy that I'm really good at some things that, I know he's not as strong in, so we can balance each other out that way.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
So there's 1 minute left. Moofy, what do you think? Real quick, Moof.
He just goes in his room.
And Kimberly?
I'm just myself right now, so yeah.
Steph, you're just yourself too. You're very strong at what you do, and
well, I've worked with Steph, and we work together, and we've done things together where one benefits the other. So yeah.
Well, very good, very good. This has been fun, ladies. This has been fun. I think we're going to wait for a while and to do another roundtable and get people to come on and talk a little bit, and maybe put a little bit more structure. It was a little slow in the beginning. I apologize. I just thought everybody would be jumping in, but no, we did great. It was awesome. Well, cool. This is it. This is the end of the show. Thank you, Moofy, for coming on. Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Heidi, for taking the time out and coming on. We really appreciate it, and I do love your smorgasbord thing. What is it?
The paranormal smorgasbord.
That's what it is. Yes, I love that. And Kimmy, you be good. And thanks everyone for listening. Thank you, Parax. You rock. Sarge, you're just so sexy. Can't stand it. And thanks for all the questions, everybody. And we'll talk to you all next week.